sa team ninyo or inside the office, di ba? You don't blame your members or your teammates. Di ba? Sa volleyball, diba? When you blame one player, tendency is hindi kayo mag-work as a team. It ruins the peaceful relationship among, wag mo ibigay sa kanya yung ball. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm just simply trying to analogize the situation, but that is what we're trying to see. There is always conflict when you isolate yourself. When you isolate yourself and when you isolate somebody else and others. We should always put ourselves as part of the whole team. Diba? So that's number one. Ano pa yung conflict? Sabi niya ganon, you lust and do not have. So these are the conflicts. There is lust among themselves. Ano ba yung lust, Brother Bell? Lust is more of like yung mga wants, yung mga desires. Diba? Mga, ano ba? Cravings. Diba? Yung mga, may mga gusto na it's beyond dun sa gusto ng Panginoon sa atin. Diba? May mga desire naman na acceptable. Diba? Desires. But there are desires that is not acceptable. Diba? Sabi nga nila, nagko-covet, mga envies. Gusto ko. Sabi nga nila, there's a big difference between wanting something against wanting what other have. Nakabili ng ng bagong kotse yung kapitbahay mo. And you also want another. You know what? Gusto ko rin ng kotse. Mas maganda kaysa sa kanya. I mean, it's not wrong to have your own car, but if your intention is to sapawan, sa English na sapawan, to belittle the other guy, or to cover up, or, to be more spontaneous or extravagant than your neighbor, then there's something wrong, right? There's nothing wrong if you want to achieve something. Importante yun eh. We have to be an achiever. We are God-chosen people. Kaya kung merong nakukuha yung mga iba, much more dapat tayo. Pero the inspiration should not be coming from envy. The inspiration should be coming from what God wants you to have. So, hindi pwede yung ganon. So, ano may mga conflict? Basahin pa natin ito. Sabi ganon, you murder and covet and cannot obtain. You fight and war, yet you do not have, because you do not ask. You ask and do not receive, because you ask amiss. You may spend it in your own pleasure. Diba? Maraming ganyan sa atin. There are so many people like that na nangihingi sa Lord. Bigyan mo na sa akin. Pero the truth of the matter is, the intention is for your own pleasure. I cannot think right now of an example na yung hinihingi natin sa Panginoon, pero it is because of our own pleasure. Okay, I remember one thing. Sometimes, in our Bible study, people would ask for a prayer request, Brother Adel, pag-pray mo na magkaroon kami ng sasakyan so I could bring people to church. Wow, ang ganda ng intention. Nung nagkaroon ng sasakyan, hindi mo na makita sa church. You cannot find them on the church because they are always in a gimmick. They're always, having an escapade. But God bless you, sister and brother, who uses your resources for the ministry. Let's give credit to those people na talaga naman, sundo, talaga, they would pick up people, and we have seen those people too. But, there is the other side of the coin. May mga tao talaga na, Kuya Del, pag-pray lang natin na dumating yung pamilya ko dito, and then we will go to church. Pinaririnig na ito, Jethro, alam niya. Hindi siya walis. Diba? Mayroong mga ganun talaga, Jethro. Ito. Sabi nga, Brother Del, pag-pray natin na lumabas na yung visa, yung papers ng pamilya ko, para, we could be here in the church. Diba? Asa na yung iba? Hindi na-pray natin. Nawala. Diba? So, good thing, but sabi nga natin, we will not stop. We will not stop praying for these people. We will still continue. Sabi nga ganon. We are not supposed to have like all these things. Kaya kayo nagkaaway ng kapitbahay mo, because the reason why you're fighting with your neighbor is because you always, you want something that he or she has, And then, all of a sudden, yung neighbor mo naman, bumili ka ng mas maganda, bibili rin ako mas maganda. So, nagpapata. Siguro, it might not be your neighbor, but if you're going to, understand, sometimes we have that tendency sa co-worker mo. Ang ganda ng phone niya. Kami kinapunta, iPhone 7, di ba? Isa naman, bago yung laptop niya. Mas maganda yung sa akin, 7 cores. Ganun. So, there's always something inside us, di ba? So, there's a conflict. There's always conflict. Sabi ko nga, conflict doesn't, it is not something newly invented. It already happened even in the past. Yung mga tao, during the time that when James is writing this, meron ng ganung conflict, yung inggitan ba? Agawan. Diba? Yung, listen to this. The main root cause of conflict is, when we try to satisfy ourselves always. Yung bang, gusto natin, ganito, yung bang parang we don't have satisfaction already. Okay, so I think everybody understand the conflict. Laging may conflict. And I mind you, conflict will not stop. It will happen, sooner or later. But the good thing is through God's grace, we can control conflict. There is a cure. Okay, there's a cure. But before we understand the cure, let's understand the cause first. Sabi nga nila, di ba, when somebody is trying to treat a disease, or when somebody is trying to treat sickness, they need to understand the causes first. Hindi ka pwede. You cannot invent a medicine without understanding where this disease comes from, right? So we have to understand what are the causes. And there are 3 good causes that I think it was discussed last night that my wife, shared with me as well. And I'd like to highlight those 3. Number 1 is the cause of conflict that cause among our community. Among our community. Actually, within ourselves, parang muna. Speak up. So, there is a conflict within ourselves. Sabi niya ganon, doon sa binasa natin, di ba? Where do wars and fights come from among you? So, as if James is saying, saan ba nanggagaling yung away among you and within you? Kasi you have to understand that sometimes there's a conflict not only among us, but within ourselves as well. Diba, sabi ni Paul, even Paul said, there are things that I do not want to do, but I keep on doing, but there are things that I want to do, I cannot do. Diba, parang there is something within ourselves, may selfish person inside our heart. Merong bagay na I guess, there are instances in your life na meron ganun, diba? Na you tend to say, ayoko nang gawin ito, bakit lagi ito ginagawa? Ba't papunta ng Brampton? Ayoko nang pumunta dito. Yeah. Yeah. Bakit, why do I have to keep on doing this? I really don't have to do this. Hindi, ano lang, example lang. Meron naman mga bagay na yung gusto mong gawin, hindi mo naman magawa. I was really struggling. I wanted to finish the whole Bible for a year. But, I started with Genesis, but I ended up in Exodus. Nag-exit na ako sa Exodus. Hindi ko na naituloy yung aking pagbabasa. Diba? And sometimes we even, New Year's resolution, starting this year, I would start my devotion every night. After 1 week, tapos na yung devotion. Diba? Hindi na natutuloy. So even within ourselves, there's a battle. There's a battle within ourselves. And this battle within ourselves, sometimes, it doesn't end there. Nag-i-spill out. It spill out and it affects the people around us. Minsan meron kang, nagtatalino mo, kailangan ko bang gawin to? Kailangan ko bang bilhin to? Parang gusto ko na, di ba? Kasi naiingit ako doon sa kasama ko. Meron siyang bago, ako wala. Sometimes we have that tendency. You know, na parang nagtatalo ka na, konti na lang pera ko, pero parang gusto ko pa rin eh. Kasi ang ganda eh, di ba? Para malagpasan ko yung meron siya, bibiling ko na rin. And the tendency is because, you know, we do things like this, the effect is, kagagastos mo, nag-away kayo ng misis mo. Kagagastos mo, naubusan ka ng pambayad, or, I mean, it affects, merong domino effect. I don't know the extent of the effect, pero because, you know, sometimes you cannot control that covetousness within yourself, yung fight within yourself, because you cannot control it, it is spill out. Naaapektuhan. Sabi nga nila, remember the preaching we had about taking responsibility? Natatandaan nyo? Every one of us have our own responsibility. Ito yun. Lahat tayo may responsibility. But some way or the other, if we fail